Beeman was goody boxing heads and fight fans around the world. I'm back at it with another boxing video. So the man, former WBA champion, Erislandy Lara at 154 pounds, former champ. He's calling out the man Jermell Charlo, you know what I'm saying? He's calling out Charlo. Since the man Jared Hurd is injured, you know what I mean? Jared Hurd is undergoing surgery. I don't remember which shoulder it is, but that's a unification that Showtime was trying to put on for the end of the year. Jermell Charlo versus the two-time champion and unified division champ Jared Hurd. But those plans are going to be delayed because the man Jared Hurd, like I said, he underwent shoulder surgery and he's now recovering. You know what I mean? The man Jermell Charlo, of course, he was in a fight probably 2 weeks ago versus 3 weeks ago versus Austin Trout. It was a majority decision. I thought it was unanimous decision. You know what I'm saying? I had the man Jermell Charlo winning the fight probably 8 rounds to 4. Something to that effect. 8 rounds to 4, maybe 7-5. Maybe I had it 7-5, but he had two knockdowns. So yeah, I had it actually 115 to 110. That was my scorecard. So that's 7-5, but with the two knockdowns, you know what I'm saying, points gonna be deducted. So the man Jermell Charlo, of course, he used to be was once a sparring partner with the man Erislandy Lara. You know what I mean? When they wanted the head coach, veteran trainer Ronnie Shields. You know what I mean? But the man Jermell Charlo, he went with the man Derek James, Errol Spence trainer. And he's been working side by side with Errol Spence, you know what I mean? And actually, he's been knocking out his opponents. Granted, yes, these opponents he's been knocking out. Most of them were mandatories, you know what I mean? Guys like Hatley, Erickson Lubin. He did stop what's that guy? John Jackson's name to win the world title. But a fight he struggled in. It was a similar fight to Lucas Matisse versus that Tiwa Karam guy. The last fight Lucas Matisse fought. The guy was outboxing Lucas Matisse for almost every single round till he got caught with one punch, and that punch turned the whole fight around. And that's the type of power that the man Lucas Matisse possesses. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how that fight went between Jermell Charlo and John Jackson. And of course, Jermell Charlo fought the old timer from the Haitian Canadian Joaquim Alcine. A fight that wasn't necessarily, to be honest, because that guy's way past his prime, way past his prime. Okay, and now that the man Jared Hurd's on the shelf, that the man Jermell Charlo don't got a fight that he don't got nobody to fight come for his next fight. And the man, Erislandy Lara, is more than willing and is wide open. His schedule's free and he's willing to participate in a fight versus Jermell Charlo. He's the only one who's been vocal about this fight, even when both of them were world champions. When Erislandy Lara held the WBA belt and Jermell Charlo had the WBC belt. Erislandy Lara said, man, we could still get it on, man. Fuck all that shit that we used to be under Ronnie Shields. I'm going to read you some quotes from the man Erislandy Lara. Quote, now that Hurd is injured and our rematch will be pushed back, the fight to me is me versus Charlo. It's a fight that makes sense. Two of the best versus each other and another great fight for the fans. Charlo is a friend and former stablemate, but that doesn't mean anything. This is boxing and it is a business. I'm ready to fight Charlo anytime. I hope he's also willing to fight the best. End quote. And I agree 100% with the man Erislandy Lara's sentiments there. You know what I mean? Especially from the fact when he said, it's a fight that makes sense. Two of the best versus each other, and another great fight for the fans. That's the key words right there. You know what I mean? Key word, great fight for the fans. And this is a fight that I'd love to see. I wasn't so keen on the Erislandy Lara versus what you call it, Hurd rematch, because I thought Jared Hurd beat him comprehensively. You know what I'm saying? I had it 7-5, and the knockdown just sealed the deal. Look, without that knockdown, these judges were trying to rob the man Jared Hurd, you know what I'm saying? They give it a majority decision, which wasn't the fact in my opinion. I had it was a unanimous decision. Just like Jermell Charlo versus Jermell Charlo versus Austin Trout, you know what I mean? No question about it. I'm not even gonna compare what Jared Hurd did to Austin Trout versus Jermell Charlo versus Austin Trout, because this video right here is for a fight to be made between Erislandy Lara and Jermell Charlo. Now look, this is a fact, and there's no no way around this. There's no coming back from this, and this should be set in stone right here. What I'm about to say. These two guys, like the man Erislandy Lara said, he's a friend of mine and former stablemate, and this is business. All right, you hear that, right? The fact is, these two guys are very, very familiar with each other from being former sparring partners. Now, Erislandy Lara is the one who's taken action and initiative to try and make this fight happen. And he's considering it for the fans, us, who love the sport of boxing, who only want to see the best fight the best. Now, if this guy, Jermell Charlo, does not fight Erislandy Lara, that's a fucking duck, no question about it, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? This guy, Jermell Charlo, has to take this fight. You know what I mean? Just like Jared Hurd and Jermell Charlo, I'd put the onus on both of them, especially more Jared Hurd, because he's the champion and calls the shots of making that unification fight happen next or sometime before 2018 ends. You know what I'm saying? Jared Hurd is now out of the picture. He's injured. Some people are claiming that the man is ducking. I don't buy that. Just like I never bought the fact that Keith Thurman was ducking the man Errol Spence because he's injured. He's injured. You know what I mean? If a man is injured, he's injured. Whether a man prolongs his injury to stay out the ring, which I do believe now that Keith Thurman is doing, then I got a problem with that. But the man just coming off an injury right now, I don't expect him to be even fighting Jared Hurd next in the Jermell Charlo in a unification when Jared Hurd gets his shoulder repaired and gets healthy. So in the meantime, in between time, this fight gotta happen. Jermell Charlo versus Erislandy Lara. It's only right. If this guy Jermell Charlo does not give this guy Erislandy Lara the American dream, the Guantanamo guy from Cuba, if he don't give him an opportunity to fight for that world title, then that man ain't his friend. The man Erislandy Lara considers him a friend, like he said. He ain't his friend if Jermell Charlo does not accept that fight and happens next, you know what I mean? And anybody who does not want to see this fight, especially for Jermell Charlo, then you're protecting the man. Don't give me no nothing about the man Erislandy Lara is just coming off a loss and he don't deserve an opportunity at the 154-pound title because he just came off a loss. Don't give me that. This guy Erislandy Lara is a formidable champion. He's been a champion for many years. He lost his title to a younger, stronger, bigger, hungrier fighter in the man Jared Hurd. And it wasn't like Jared Hurd wasn't a champion. This was a unification. Erislandy Lara knew what the ramifications, repercussions, consequences, and the glory you would achieve if you defeated the man Jared Hurd. He came up short. And there's no excuses about that. Now, the man Jared Hurd, Erislandy Lara, like I said, is still a formidable champion, and it's only right he gets an opportunity from his former stablemate, and it's a guy that Erislandy says is a friend of his. This is business, you know what I mean? Anything less is a duck. Now, the man Jermell Charlo, if he don't want that fight, it's because he knows what happens between him and Erislandy Lara in sparring. And the telling will all be written on the wall, you know what I mean? It's going to be so transparent that there's no coming back from this, you know what I mean? If the man Jermell Charlo thinks he can beat Erislandy Lara, he's going to take that fight. And I'm not saying he's not, but time will tell. You check it, and we shall see who both of these guys' next fight's gonna be. You know what I mean? B Marsh Boxing, I see a couple people in the chat. What's goody, P Money? What's happening, man? He says in the chat, I'd love to see that fight. I got Charlo, but it will be tough. Yeah, man, I'd love to see the fight, man. Me personally, I'm going with the American Dream. You know, I've always considered Erislandy Lara the best in the division. You know what I'm saying? Even when the both Charlos had belts over there. But, coming into that fight with Jared Hurd, I just thought Jared Hurd is it's the right time. He's the younger, stronger, hungrier fighter. and the bigger fighter, and he's overcoming a lot of odds. So I knew he would win the fight. You know what I mean? I knew he'd win the fight, and I'm glad that he did. You check it, and I'm a fan of Erislandy Lara. He's definitely one of my favorite boxers. That's why I want this opportunity for him versus Jermell Charlo. You know what I mean? And it's only right that Jermell Charlo gives him that opportunity. You check it. If not, it's a duck. B Marsh Boxing. I'm out of here. Thanks a lot, P Money, for coming through, and to everybody else in the chat. And I'm out of here. One.